Welcome along to the Cheltenham Handicap web previews. I'm here in the studio with Paul Jones, author of the Weatherby's Cheltenham Festival betting guide and also our statsman on attheraces.com. We're going to focus now on Thursday and we're looking at the plate, a grade 3 over 3 miles, sponsored this year by Brown Advisory and the Merriebelle stable. As you can see, Monitor heading up the market at 12 to 1 for David Pipe, and it's no surprise because last year it was one of the biggest plots of the festival and certainly one of the easiest winners when Ballynagore hacked up the hill. A third win for David Pipe, I think 4 wins for Martin, so 7 for the family overall. So it's no surprise to see that one holding sway at the top of the market, Paul. Yep,
if he runs here. He's also got the Grand Annual entry, but I think they're going to let ground conditions determine where he's going to run, and he's obviously interesting. He's the same owner who owned Ballynagore and also Sally Flow, who both won this race pretty easily, and both didn't run this side of Christmas, and that's exactly the case with Monitor, who was an eye-catcher and a half over 2 miles at the Open meeting, and then won comfortably in what's traditionally a good 2-mile handicap chase at the Hennessy meeting. So he's interesting wherever he runs.
He's yet to race on ground this good, but as you say, he's got plenty in his favour as far as the stats go. Now, what other pointers should we be looking for to try and narrow this field down?
Yeah, it's been a bad race for the class horses. Only 2 of the last 27 winners were rated higher than 141. Now, that would normally sort of chop out around about a third of the field, so that wouldn't be a good stat. For example, if you fancy the Paddy Power Gold Cup winner Cade de Burle, who's off 151. Unace might run here. Novices have got quite a good record. 6 of the last 12 top 2 finishers were novices, but he's 144. He's also got the Grand Annual option, second to Champagne West in a novice chase here before Christmas. I think they're waiting on the ground to determine where he's going to run.
Okay, and just looking at previous winners, 50 to 1 Carrick Boy a couple of years ago, and traditionally I imagine it's a race where you can't really rule out any horse because there have been some big price winners in recent years.
It's the hardest race of the whole festival on average SPs over the last 20-25 years. It didn't used to be the case. It used to be a good race for punters in its first 30 years or so, but it's been incredibly difficult for punters over the last 20 years.
And only 1 Irish winner, looking by the stats. So let's focus on the British ones then if we can. We'll look at Evan Williams, trained Bywise, who's also prominent in the market. A horse who we can see at Taunton here back in 2014. He ran over hurdles last time, but I guess the question mark with him would be his jumping.
That's the thing, yeah, his jumping. He ran a really good race in last season's novice handicap chase at this meeting, despite not jumping well. He was 5th on that occasion. Then he impressed when he won at the April meeting last year, and then went to the Paddy Power Gold Cup as one of the leading fancies. And again, he didn't jump particularly well. Offered an awful lot of promising, finishing 5th. He's since come out and won a novice hurdle at 7 to 1 on, but if he gets it all right and gets his jumping right, there won't be many finishing stronger than him. The Paddy Power Gold Cup traditionally hasn't been a good guide to this race, however, but you know, Bywise is going to be up there in the betting.
And rated 146, quite a lot of the horses we're going to look at are rated quite high, but you'd be inclined to stick to those a little bit lower than that?
Statistically, you have to. 25 of the last 27 rated 141 or less, so that's a bit of a sticking point with him, along with his jumping.
OK, well, one horse who does fit into that bracket is Byerly Babe for Robert Tyner, who is rated 138, was beaten 5 lengths this day at Leopardstown by Fox Rock in the first time Hood, one whose form we've seen her running on softer ground, but certainly she fits some of the stats. Yeah,
definitely. You know, as you say, she's running in a first time Hood this day, and she was travelling best, turning for home. I backed on this occasion. I was quite hopeful, but in retrospect, there's nothing wrong with this form. You know, Fox Rock has gone on and almost won an Irish Hennessy Gold Cup on the next start. And this is a tough mare. Beat Une Artiste in a Grade 2 mares novice chase last season. And if it's a Cheltenham handicap with JP McManus, you never know. We might have Tony McCoy on it, and therefore it's going to be one of the leading fancies.
But an Irish trained runner, so crossing that box.
That's the thing. I mean, it's just not a race the Irish have gone after, rather than they've gone after it and got a shocking record. This race doesn't resonate as strongly with them as some other handicaps at the meeting. But yep, she would only be the second Irish trained winner if she was good enough to win.
OK, well, that brings in Colour Squadron for Philip Hobbs, who, as you mentioned, another one for JP, could be the mount of AP, as you say, amongst others. But a horse who, as we know, has got the Cheltenham form second last year off a not much lower mark.
Yeah, I mean, he's still not won over fences, and he's not looked that keen in a battle, as it were, but big field handicaps suit him, where he can run through horses. You know, he's been placed in 3 major 2.5-mile handicaps at the Cheltenham Festival, and that is his that's his forte. So I wouldn't be that bothered that you see him getting beaten here by Wonderful Charm in a graduation chase, or getting beaten in novice chases, these small runner fields. What he wants is a strong run pace and to run through horses, and it's very easy to see Colour Squadron finish in the first 4 again.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at his run last time, and he's one that seems to improve a lot for the good ground, certainly. Yeah, good ground and a good pace. They're the 2 keys with him. OK, let's have a word on Unai. So you did mention earlier for Kim Bailey, runs off 1:44, winning at Doncaster here. It was a runaway victory by 29 lengths. Yeah, this is Kim Bailey's main hope for the Cheltenham Festival this year. As I say, there is the Grand Annual option with this one as well. They thought enough of him to run him in the Supreme Novices Hurdle last year, where he finished 8th, and trainer has since I think he said that he should have run it in the Neptune rather than the Supreme. But yeah, it was a good second to Champagne West, who unfortunately is injured, but he would have been one of the leading fancies for the RSA chase this season. So he's got quite a nice profile, you know, except he's rated 144, which is a little bit high for a novice, maybe. We've already touched upon Cad to Burley, rated 151, so that's too high as well. Are there any others that take your eye? I know Venetia Williams has done well in the past in this race. Yeah, she's got Tango de Jouy. She doesn't look that strong in this race this year. Jarry Donneur had 7 entries at the festival when the entries first came out, and I thought he was given a little bit of a strange ride in a good race at Leopardstown last time. At a Glance has won at the festival before. He's finished second in the novice handicap chase at the festival before. He likes good ground. You could see him coming back and running well here. I imagine Generous Ransom will go for the novices handicap chase. Ballynagore, they were talking about missing the whole festival with him, as he's not really pleasing, and perhaps going to Aintree. Camping Ground's quite interesting. He's also got the Grand Annual entry. He's only had the 1 run in Britain and 1 at Warwick. I think Takan Desoy is going to go for the Ryanair. OK, it's early days with regard to where these horses go and the final festival targets, but looking at the market as it is and bringing the stats into it, Paul, what's your selection? I like Moneterre if he runs here. No surprise to see Moneterre coming out on top in the plate, looking for a 4th win then for David Pipe.